Hello everyone, it's me, Anthony Couch, a guitarist on YouTube. Whammy bars, are they worth all that hassle? I get asked that question a lot. I've been teaching guitar a long time, taught lots of people. One of my students the other day said, Anthony, what are your thoughts on whammy bars? Well, most of my guitars have got whammy bars, not all of them though. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons. Let's go and have a closer look at my guitars. Ibanez RG321, no floating bridge. Ibanez Prestige 3250, floating bridge. Ibanez RG365, floating bridge. Ibanez RG350, floating bridge, but I have blocked it. Charvel San Dimas, floating bridge. Ibanez RG370, floating bridge. I used to have this blocked, but not anymore. And the Ibanez RG550, floating bridge. So the evidence speaks for itself. Are floating bridges worth the hassle? In my opinion, yes. But there is a big but. They're not for everyone. Let me talk about some pros and cons of the floating bridge, the whammy bar, the trem system, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go one pro, one con, one pro, one con, etc, etc. What have we got top of this list that I've written here? Way more vibrato range. I mean, that is what it's for. It would be completely pointless if it didn't do its job. It takes what is this and turns it into... And more is better, isn't it? Obviously. That is a crazy sound that you're never going to get with your fingers. Not only because you can raise the note, but you can do this very unique thing that is actually impossible on a non-floating bridge. You can dip the note as vibrato. You can't do that on guitar aside from going, which is just sliding. That doesn't get the same smoothness. So not only, if there's the pitch, not only can you do that, you can do that like you can with your fingers, but you can also go way more. It's just moreness. Okay, the first major con is the tuning stability. If you mess about with this a lot and you don't have a very good bridge or a very good system, the guitar is going to go out of tune, and that is very annoying. It's got to have the locking system. If it doesn't have that locking system, when you raise the bar and lower it and you keep doing that, it keeps dragging the string through the nut and then keeping it because of the friction of that nut, depending on the quality of the nut. So you end up with flat strings, which is really annoying. Back to the pros list, dive bombs. Absolutely impossible without one of these. Perfect for thrash metal, death metal guitar solos. Whoops. And another big con, as most of these cons are, is about tuning. To do an alternative tuning on the fly. So I'm a guitar teacher, I go out, I take my electric guitars. If I turn up at a student's house and they want to learn 90s grunge, I can't tune to E flat standard. If they want to learn Guns N' Roses, I can't tune to E flat standard on the fly. If they want to learn the really, a open string folky tune, I can't do that. So that is the major limitation of this guitar. If you're considering buying one of these to play live and you're playing lots of different songs in lots of different tunings, your audience is going to be bored watching you get frustrated at your trem system. Okay, the next pro, unique tricks that you can do with it. Things that go beyond normal vibrato. Things like the flutter, which I suppose is just vibrato, but it's not normal vibrato. Very steep Vi. Okay, this is another big con that's coming up very, very, very shortly. My most hated con. But before I rant about that, you can also do the, I've heard this referred to as the lizard down the throat, where you slide up but you depress the bar and you do the opposite the other way. Unique tricks. And I'm an old man, with old man influences, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. I imagine all the young players now have come up with all sorts of weird, unique, wonderful ways of using these things. Okay, let's get on to that massive con. The systems that I buy are really temperamental when it comes to the looseness of this mechanism. I like it to respond as soon as I touch it. It responds, and it works most of the time, but when I'm moving it like this and it comes loose, that is the most irritating thing ever. And that Charvel is the main offender. You either have to have it really tight so it's stuck there, or you have to have it so loose so it's floppy, but then when you use it, it's rickety, and I hate a rickety bridge. It really, really, really winds me up. If anyone's got any tips on how to stop that from happening, please let me know. Okay, here's one of my favourite things. This is another Pro. I'm actually going to take this out. I just like having the ability to play a chord and use my hand as vibrato for a chord. I've got to be honest with you, most of the time I don't have this actually installed on the guitar. Now I'll just go like this. It actually sounds like tremolo effect on the amp. But what comes with that is a massive con. If you're big into your palm muting and you're not used to a whammy bar or a floating bridge, what was once this could potentially turn into, because you're palm muting on that bridge, you have to be a bit more delicate. But palm muting by its definition is an aggressive sound, where you have to dig in with that palm to achieve that chug 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 chug. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You end up sharpening the notes. It's good when you want this, but not this. You need to relax all that palm muting. It takes a bit of getting used to, and that's a good thought to leave it on, really. It takes getting used to. Oh, there's another con. There's another con before I wrap up. Tuning. If it's locked, it's a pain. It can be a pain. I'm just lazy. I say it's a pain. You might not think it's a pain to have to undo those to tune it, and to be reliant on your the pegs at the bridge to do micro tuning. And you always end up with one that's all the way down, and you need to still sharpen the note, so you just end up loosening it and then messing about. And that's not even getting onto the springs in the back. There's so many cons. Okay, yeah, as I make this video, this is a good video for me to make, because I would actually probably now advise against, if you're in two minds about all that fun stuff, all that stuff, I would probably advise against it unless you really, really, really want to be able to do it, and you're willing to take on the learning curve that comes with it. I am, and I was, so for me it's worth it. I enjoy doing all that crazy stuff. But as I said, I rarely stick this in there. That would just be if I was performing live. I'd just put that in there just to do the flashier stuff. Anyway, what do you think about whammy bars? Let me know in those comments, especially let me know, because then it helps me to know that you watched this video to the end. It's 2026 and I feel like a fossil. I'm making long form videos with very few cutaways. I'm still just doing the videos that I think that I would watch. Shorts are fine. Let me just have a little 2026 rant. Shorts are fine, but are you going to learn guitar by watching like 530-second videos in half an hour? Maybe you will, maybe you will, maybe you will. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. I want the world of guitarists to be better guitarists, and I want to help do that, and I want to also do that myself. And that's why I make these videos, and why I still make long-form videos. Long-form, oh wow, it's 8 minutes long. That is long-form. Anthony, stop ranting. You'll put people off. I'm a nice person, I just like the occasional rant. I'm allowed one a year, and this one was in January 2026. No more. Okay, right. Just being daft. Thank you for watching. Extra special thanks to these names who support me on Patreon. That is very nice, isn't it? I will see you in the next video. I don't know if I'm going to leave all that ending in. I probably won't. Thank you.